So, I just wanted to make another one of these things because I feel like the only way it's actually going to help me is if I keep up with it. So, today was a pretty big day. My mom and my sister and I went to see a medium. If you don't know what a medium is, it's someone who can see spirits and relay messages that they had for the living. Whether you believe in it or not, I don't really care because I do. And I'm sure I'll make a separate video later going into detail about everything that was said during the meeting, but there was just a few things that I kind of took from it. The main visitor was my grandma, who passed away a few years ago. Sorry, my mind's a little scattered right now, so we can't do mental math. And that was really big for my mom and my sister because they were both very close with her. I was about 13, I think, when she passed, so I didn't really have that side of a relationship with her, but, she was my grandmother, and I loved her, and, my grandmother passed away in front of my family because she was in a, rehab, and she was only in the rehab to, learn how to walk and, use a fork and stuff after she had a stroke, so it was really out of nowhere, her death. So I believe that this helped my mom and my sister a lot, and I'm really grateful for that. But when I sat down, the medium's name is Alicia. She looked at me and she was like, I feel that you're a very strong believer because I find myself leaning towards you. I want to talk to you first, really, because she could tell out of me, my mom, and my sister, that I was the most believing out of this stuff, because that's just how I am. I believe in spirit, the spirit world, all that stuff, all that weird kooky conspiracy stuff that people are going to think I'm crazy for. Oh well. So, one of the big things that she said to me was that I need to stop being sorry for myself, and I need to take self-responsibility, really. And what she meant by that is I blame a lot of my problems on people and things, and I just don't take responsibility for them. And blaming them is, I think, something I do because when I blame someone for something, I don't have to deal with it because in my mind it isn't my fault, because it's their fault. But that's not really how the world works, So, another person that came through is my ex-girlfriend who passed away August 4th of 2017. And that was really the reason I was going, because, like I said, I wasn't really close with my grandmother, so I didn't think that, she was going to say anything to me or interact with me or anything. She did, and I'll explain that at a later time, but my main reason was to go for Mary, which was my ex-girlfriend's name. And she came through, and I think what the meeting did for me was focus on the positive stuff that Mary has done for me and not the negative, because a lot of my depression and anxiety comes from the extremely abusive relationship I was in for a year with Mary. I made myself stay with her because I knew I would break her heart by leaving her, and I couldn't bring myself. So I just was making myself depressed, making myself hate life, didn't want to go home. It was really bad. And, even though after the relationship goes away, the damage doesn't, and that's something I have to deal with. And one of the things that the medium told me was, Mary taught me a lot. She quite literally taught me how the world works. She taught me that sometimes the world's good, Sometimes it's bad. Sometimes life's good. Sometimes it sucks. One of the things that really got to me was the medium brought up me harming myself. She said it as a statement, like she didn't really ask. So she knew. And then she said, "You thought about killing yourself." And she said, "You still think about killing yourself." And mind you, I'm in the room with my mom and my sister, so when she said it, I honestly didn't even think about the fact that I was with my mom and my sister, because Mary and my grandma have been there for me while I've been considering suicide or harming myself. They've been there, and they've been watching me, and they love me, especially my grandmother. I would probably definitely go over the entire session very soon. The session was about an hour long, but we were on a 2-year waiting list because this woman is the real deal. We heard of her from word of mouth. I don't know, I think I'm just making this video because I just feel really different than I did going in. I feel physically lighter. If that makes any sense. I feel physically lighter.